It's time for the Wrestling Observer Extra.
One more time for old time's sake.
With Dave Meltzer, right here on The Law. Live audio wrestling.
And let's go. By now, smoking with the best.
Welcome back, second hour of The Lot to Come. We're going to Dave Meltzer right now, though. Dave, we saw Jinder Mahal take his place at the top of the SmackDown card with that title, a celebration. The question we've been asking and chatting about on the show, though, is how long do you expect Jinder to hold on to this title?
Well, I mean, if you're going to make a difference, you should hold it for a long time, because if he's a short title reign, there was really no point in doing it.
I think the question is, what is a long time in current WWE? Because 3 months really is a long time. And
I don't know, but I think that the idea is that he's got. I mean,
it's all tied in with India, right, Dave? So isn't it all kind of based on what happens with India?
But I mean, the thing is, if he's going to win and then lose real quick and then fall down, I mean, it didn't serve a purpose at all.
No.
So he's got to stay in that. I mean, he doesn't have to always be champion, but he has to have a significant run and then stay at the top, because if he goes to the middle, then, what was the point of all this?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he should, based on everything, he should be champion for a while, but they may get cold feet. I mean, the way that goes.
Well, and I'm curious, Dave, is who will you put up against him after the initial rematch with Orton? I mean, who do you have to kind of work programs with him that you can get good matches out of him?
Well, I'm sure he's going to work with John Cena, and then you always got AJ Styles, who'll probably be the best guy to have good matches with him. Although, when he worked on television with AJ Styles, it wasn't that great.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he's going to have great matches with anybody.
Right.
We'll see.
Ultimately, is it the age-old U.S., Mr. USA, John Cena returning and saving America by taking the title off the evil outsider Jinder? Is that what we're looking at here in 2017?
I don't think so, because with John going out, going away so often with so many different things, I'm not sure that putting the championship on him makes any sense at this point. Maybe he's got a long run where he doesn't have to do anything, but he seems to be getting a lot of offers, in a lot of places, and that, the wrestling just doesn't seem like he's going to have long runs in wrestling. He's going to be in, between stuff and go all in when he's in, but he's always going to have. My feeling is he's always going to have stuff. So,
but I mean, couldn't you do what they do with Brock, where he just disappears for a while and then comes back?
You could do it, but I wouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't do it, especially when you have Brock doing it.
Doing
now.
it already, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't be so quick. I mean, I know that John Cena has to win the championship at some point to break the Ric Flair supposed record.
Right.
So, but his last championship run felt so cheap that I'm just not that. I don't know. When you look at what they got, I mean, you really got a Baron Corbin turn. You got AJ Styles. I don't see Kevin Owens wrestling him, at least not now, just because we turn Kevin Owens babyface.
Yeah.
And at some point, that will happen, but it feels like it's too soon to do that now.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Kevin Owens, he is one of the 6 participants that'll be in Money in the Bank this year. Styles, Corbin, Ziggler, Zayn, Nakamura. Who do you see? I mean, this is a rocket attached to someone's back. And what we've talked about on this show, a lot of people are saying Baron Corbin is the guy to be elevated with this. Do you agree, Dave?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good chance, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you look at everyone, he's the guy that they're talking about elevating, which becomes weird because I don't know. I don't see him against Jinder, but I suppose, I mean, you could do that. Boy, that would. Whoa. I'm not so sure that as a program on top would not be so great.
No, I just don't see fans in general taking to him with the Money in the Bank. I don't know. I just don't see him maybe at that level or something. I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, but they, that's kind of like the spot that a lot of times they'll put the Money in the Bank winner, somebody that you don't really think of as at that level, and then usually they end up winning the championship, and then sometimes it works, and like with Edge, and then sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, like with Damian Sandow.
yeah, that one really didn't work.
No.
Dave,
that was very clearly a change of heart, though, at some point.
Right.
That was a sad, sad day for us.
It was.
We really enjoyed him.
Yeah.
Where is he now?
Exactly.
Nakamura became a good old regular member of the roster this week, in our opinion. I heard him say the word playground, and I'm baffled by this because
playground. I think it's a Michael Jackson reference.
Oh, that's brutal. That's terrible.
I know it is, but they think he's Michael Jackson. That's their
because he's got a red jacket. They think he's Michael Jackson.
Well, no, clearly, I mean, there's some inspiration there, but it's kind of ridiculous. But I mean, seeing him do that backstage segment, Dave, is just clearly the wrong way to utilize this guy, and I'm just baffled by the fact.
I agree that trying to preface him as the rock star, I'm not sure that really works, but.
It just seems like he's a regular Joe on the roster already. It seems like all the specialness and uniqueness that we had in NXT is gone already.
I wouldn't go so far, but I know what you're saying. But he feels like a regular main eventer, not just a guy on the roster, but a main eventer. But as far as like standing out larger than life, it's hard when you do a 20-minute match on television and you sell most of the match, and he did get to win, but I mean, it's hard when you're not doing squashes to not bring guys back down. I mean, because the one guy who doesn't do who doesn't do 50-50 matches back and forth is Lesnar, and he's the one who stays over. It's something special. And Cena, but Cena's been around for so long, and he's already at that level. So, yeah. I mean, there's. Maybe Nakamura's the guy to beat Jinder, and maybe that's the idea is to get Jinder all kinds of heat, and Nakamura beats him, and then he's special. So we'll see.
One other quick SmackDown question, Dave. Rusev, they were showing all these promos saying he was coming back for Money in the Bank, and last 2 weeks we've seen nothing. Have you heard? Has there been a change?
Just a change of plans. They were, I think it was pretty clear that they were going to go with Rusev in a major spot at Money in the Bank, and I think that the going all out with Jinder changed those plans.
Right. So, interesting.
He's got to follow the Predators along. Got to keep going to those games.
They're still alive.
They are. They should win. Yep. Go PK. Balor, there's a huge tease with Balor on Monday night. Paul Heyman coming back unexpectedly, really talking that up. To me, I see that as something that is teased now and is going to happen way down the line. I don't personally see it coming out of this particular five-way that they're doing, but is the plan for Balor to be the holdover until Strowman comes back? That would seem weird to me, Dave.
Well, the names I heard were Rollins and Balor, so, and then obviously well, I don't know which one, because Strowman's probably back for SummerSlam.
Right.
So there's only one guy who will be the guy who wins that match, and I would see Rollins and Balor having the best shots of the guys that are in there. I mean, I don't know which one they're going with.
Yeah, it's a tough one in that one. I mean, we were kind of thinking that Balor would spin off maybe with Bray Wyatt.
Well, that was the idea. They were going in that direction, so they could do that coming out of the match. Yeah.
What about the chance of Samoa Joe winning the match and getting the shot with Lesnar? Because I don't think they see Joe as a top guy, and I could easily see them thinking, okay, here's a quick program to hold over till we get to Reigns and whatever.
Yeah, I would hope they don't do it, because I really see Joe and Lesnar as something that could be like really big.
Yeah.
And if he wins this match and then goes with Lesnar, Lesnar's probably going to eat him up, and that'll kill it for down the line.
Right.
So I'm hoping that Joe doesn't get picked to win.
Right.
It's actually, in his case, I think winning would be losing, because of just the situation. Because I would want Joe to be in some, when they go to Joe and Lesnar, for it to be like a major program with, a couple of matches in a row as opposed to just like one match.
Mm-hmm.
Dave, at what point is the WWE going to get extremely concerned about ratings? We had a very low rating on Monday, 2.6 million. Now tomorrow there's no NBA game, so it might see a bit of an increase. But these numbers are it's just a steady decline.
Yeah, and fast too.
Yes,
it's like even like at the beginning of the year when you're talking about, well, how are they going to do against NBA playoffs? My thought was like 2.8, 2.9 million, not 2.6. So we're already like down significantly from what I would expect to be down. So I mean, it's like what happens to football season? I mean, we could easily be doing steady 2.5 millions during football season easily this coming year. So there's something to television is declining, but they're declining faster than television as a whole, significantly faster. So it is a concern. I know they're doing public posturing it's okay because everything's different and everything's different, but it isn't so different. And if you look at where they're losing heavily with guys, and they're losing heavily with teenagers. And teenagers are the ones that scare me the most, that you're losing, because that's your future. And the show this Monday was down 40% with teenagers from the show that same week a year ago, and 45% among teenage boys. And teenage boys, I mean, isn't that's like your group? You know what I mean? And so that's those. I mean, whenever I look at those numbers, they scare me. But they're down with every group. I mean, it's not just they're down the strongest with teenagers, but they're down with 15% with over 50. 20% with 18 to 34. Whatever it is, it's significant. It's double digit in every single demo they're down.
Do you have any idea or any thoughts, Dave, on what is causing it? Is it just the show is too long? Is it general misinterest in the product?
I think that the big culprit is the show is too long. It has become following WWE has gone from being a fun hobby to work, which is okay for me because it is my work. But for other people, I think that your hardcore fans love the fact there's more product than ever before, but the casual person does not want to devote 5 hours or 8 hours of pay-per-view week. It's too much, it's too much. When wrestling was 1 or 2 hours a week, for each promotion, and then maybe you got your pay-per-view once a month. That's one thing, but you're doing 2 pay-per-views a month, and you're doing all this, and and it's their idea is that people want more and more product, and there are people who do want more and more product, but by doing that, the average person feels they can't keep up, and they start skipping, and once you start skipping, you kind of figure, I can check out. There's other things to do, and that's what you don't want, and that's the whole thing of television overexposure. As soon as they did this, you knew it would have to happen because with television, it always happens when you deliver, when you make too much product, it usually declines.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost impossible. You could look at any television show that got super hot and then the network started doing multiple airings of it a week. They always burn them out.
Yeah.
And those shows don't have long shelf lives.
Dave, before we go, just an update. Do we know anything more about Tommaso Ciampa and his injury?
I just heard it's pretty serious, and he was being evaluated. He's going to be evaluated this week, I think. The last I checked was Wednesday, and they said he would be evaluated during the week, so I don't know which day it is actually. So I haven't heard anything new, but yeah, he was hurt in the match on Saturday. Which by I guess coming back too soon. I mean, that's always the risk. I mean, you can see why he did it because it was a really big night for him, but. It's sometimes that doesn't work out well when you're injured and you come back, right away.
And set up what was supposed to be an incredible program.
I know the angle was so good.
The angle really was
awesome.
Too.
Yeah.
They'll. I mean, at some point, hopefully, it's one of those things where he's out for a short period of time and they can go right to it. If it's like something bad. And he's out for several months. I mean, they still can go with the angle, but it does kind of lose momentum.
Yeah, especially by that point, Gargano will be lying down on 205 Live. We got to say goodbye for this week. Dave, in The Observer, what you got?
We're going to talk about the KSW promotion, and they're drawing 58,000 people for a show in Poland.
Wow.
On yesterday, and a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. Some big tournaments in the UK. Obviously, the Best Super Juniors tournament. Whatever happens the next 2 nights on TV, and WWE injury updates, and John Cena updates, and things like that. And so, just whatever news breaks in the next 3 days, and there's probably going to be something.
Yeah, there definitely will be. Well, WrestlingObserver.com is where you can find it. And Dave, we'll talk to you next week after Extreme Rules.
Yep. Well, have a great week.
You too. Dave Meltzer, WrestlingObserver.com.